Hello everyone and welcome back to the educational channel. Today we're going to be continuing Unit 6, okay? And today we're going to be looking at some of the vocabulary items, the reading comprehension, and the summary making. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's take a look first at a few vocabulary items that you might need for this unit, okay? So let's go over them very quickly. Number one is bookmark. So bookmark is a record of the address of a file, web page, or data used to enable quick access by a user. So imagine that you're reading and you want to close the book. You use a bookmark so that you can open it again, okay? So for example, use a bookmark to know where you stopped. Use a bookmark to know where you stopped. The next word is don't tell a soul. When I tell you, do not tell a soul. That means don't tell anyone. Keep it secret. For example, I'm going to tell you a secret, but don't tell a soul about it. Okay? The next word is modem. So a modem is a combined device for modulation and demodulation. For example, between the digital data of a computer and the analog signal of a telephone line. For example, we upgraded our modem so we have better internet. So the modem is the device that enables you to connect your phone to your landline or the computer to the internet. Next word is the Gprs. Gprs is an acronym, okay? It's an abbreviation which stands for General Packet Radio Services. It is a technology for radio transmission of small packets of data, especially between cellular phones and the internet. So it's basically saying how messages get transmitted from your phone to the radio tower, to the satellite, to other radio tower, to the other person's phone. So this is called the Gprs. So mobiles use Gprs systems to transfer data, okay? The next word is beforehand. So when something happens beforehand, okay, it happens before a certain event. Okay, so for example, if you want to reschedule, you should notify me beforehand. So if you want to reschedule something, you should notify someone beforehand, okay? The next word is the word press. Very easy, very simple. When I tell you to press something, then I'm asking you to put pressure on it or to apply pressure on it. So for example, press the doorbell and wait for someone to answer. So the doorbell is the sound when you are waiting for someone outside. You press the doorbell and then you wait for someone. So you're just pressing, okay? The next word is paste. So it's very easy. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Copy, paste, right? So when you copy something, you copy a certain text, for example, and then you paste it somewhere else, right? So paste means to insert a text in a document. So for example, you have to paraphrase the information from the internet, not just copy and paste it. So don't take it as it is, you need to paraphrase it. The next word is phone book. I don't think there are any phone books at the moment because everything is online and everything is in our mobile phones. But a phone book was a very big yellow book and it had all the numbers of every single person of every single place in a country, okay? So for example, in the past, people used the phone book to search for numbers of people and places, okay? Now, let's take a look at the reading comprehension. For the reading comprehension, we've said this a lot before. You need to first, I suggest to you, or I advise you, that you would first read the questions, know what the question wants, and then go back to reading the passage carefully and thoroughly. Why? When you read the question first and then you read the passage, then you're going to, when you're reading, you say, this wasn't the question, so this might be the answer. So this will save you a little bit of time, okay? We've talked about some of the words like antonyms, synonyms. So antonyms are the words opposites. Synonyms are the words that are the same meaning, okay? We've talked about what does best title mean. So best title, it means you're giving a title for the passage or the paragraph. The word refer to. So refer to means you are going back to someone or to something, okay? So repeat the question. When you are answering the question, repeat it as if you are telling it to someone else to make sure that you understood it. Make sure you read all of the answers carefully, okay? The types of questions, we've talked about them. The multiple choice, you can have the best title or the main idea. For the vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, the definitions. We've talked about the word reference, so the word that references to, back to someone. When you locate information, so make sure that you locate the correct information that you are looking for, and for the true or false information, okay? We've seen these questions before. So all the sentences are true except, so here they are looking for the false statement, or vice versa, okay? For the next type of questions, you have the productive questions, which you need to write. Here you need to write. So for the productive questions, they are either explicit or implicit. Explicit means that the answer is going to be there directly. Implicit means you need to understand it. Okay? So let's take a look at the reading passage. You'll find the reading passage, page number 46 in your student books. Let's read it very, very thoroughly and very quickly. Our use of mobile phones always receives a great deal of media attention. Lately, mobile phones have become a necessity for people of miscellaneous ages and occupations. For example, college students rely on mobile phones to inform their parents whenever they want to stay late at the library. They also rely on them to chat with their friends or to plan days out. On the other hand, parents use mobile phones to check on their children or even to call for help in case of emergency. Both parents and children may use their mobile phones as calendars, watches, alarm clocks, or even calculators. Some mobiles can also function as radios. Some people use their mobile phones as a notepad on which they save an SMS as a reminder, for example, to do something. Owners have also tended to customize their phones with their own ringtones, themes, wallpapers. Okay, let's take a look at the next paragraph. In addition to the above, professionals rely on mobile phones to schedule their daily agenda and to communicate with staff and clients. Moreover, some mobile phones allow users to send and receive emails. They can also browse the web via a WAP or a Hotmail browser. For many, the cell phone has replaced the PDA. The PDA is short for Personal Digital Assistant, as the portable complement to the computer. With a remote desktop application, it also becomes possible to make the mobile phone a window to one's computer. Ramesh Jain, a professor at the University of California, Irvine, wrote on his weblog, mobile phones are becoming very powerful and are likely to become a dominant device for CCC, communication, computing, and content. Hence, the phones of tomorrow will soon be the ultimate remote control of our life. Soon, they will become what George Gilder has called teleputers, if they haven't already. So these people must know the future because they're talking about things that are happening now. Now let's take a look at question number 1. The main idea of paragraph number 1. So here you need to read the main idea of paragraph number 1, or you need to read paragraph 1 and deduce the main idea. Okay, so you need to come up with the main idea. What is the main idea of paragraph 1? If you read it, you understand it, you will find that the answer is B, the uses of mobile phones. Let's take a look at question number 2. The underlined word they in line 8 refers to. So the word they in line number 8, what does it refer to? When you are trying to find what something refers to something, then you need to go back. Read 2 or 3 sentences before, okay? When you do that and you come back to the question, you will find that the answer is college students, A, okay? Question number 3. The synonym of the word rely on in line 9. So here I want the synonym of the word rely on. The synonym, which is the word that is closest to meaning. So they have almost the same meaning, okay? If you read and if you understand it, you will find that the answer is depend on, okay? Let's take a look at question number 4. From the passage, we can learn that. So what do we learn from the passage? Is it A, mobile phones are not important devices? B, college students depend on mobile phones? C, mobile phones are a waste of time? D, people use their mobile phones only to call and receive calls. People use their mobile phones only to call and receive calls. When you read the passage and you understand it, you'll find that the answer is B. College students depend on mobile phones heavily. Okay? Question number 5. All these sentences are true except, so these sentences A, B, C, and D, 3 of them are true. 1 of them is false. I am looking for the one that is false. So is it A, college students think that mobile phones are useless? B, current mobile phones need to be upgraded? C, parents use their mobile phones to check on their children? D, you can't access the internet by using your mobile phone? Of course, when you read this passage, you will find that the answer is B. Current mobile phones need to be upgraded. You don't have to upgrade your mobile phone. Your mobile phone is fine as it is, okay? The next questions are the productive questions. So question number 1, how do students use their mobile phones? If you go back to the passage, you will find that the answer is students use their mobile phones to chat with their friends or to plan days out. So either they chat with their friends or to plan their days, what they are going to do in their days, okay? Question number 2, what are the features of current mobile phones? If you go back to the passage, you will find that the answer says, some mobile phones allow the user to send and receive emails and access the internet. Old mobile phones were not able to do that. Current mobile phones or mobile phones of nowadays allow people to send and receive emails and also to access the internet. Question number 3, how do parents use their mobile phones? Here I am very specific. I'm talking about parents. How do they use their mobile phones? Parents use their mobile phones to check on their children. Question number 4, what is the purpose of this passage? So this whole passage, what is the purpose of it? The purpose of this passage is to show how people use mobile phones for different purposes or for different reasons. Okay? Now, that's the reading comprehension. Now we are going to move on to the summary. For the summary making, okay, what you need to do is summarize the important points. Okay? So for the summary, you're going to find a paragraph with a question. What I want you to do is to extract the answers of that question. So here, you need to read the question very well to know what you are looking for. You need to read the passage very well, and you need to underline the answers, okay? And then at the end, all you need to do is to put the answers together in one paragraph, okay? And you need to use words like what? First, second, third, finally. Or you can use words like, for example, first, then, also, moreover, in addition, finally. Okay? Like I said, we've talked about this. You need to understand the passage, break up the ideas, shorten the ideas, okay? Make them short, make them understandable. Paraphrase their ideas. Do not take the sentence as it is. You need to paraphrase it. Change it. Use your own words. But keep the meaning of the sentence. So we've talked about these. We've talked about paraphrasing the sentence. We've talked about changing the sentence. So you can change the words, change the vocabulary, change the grammar, change the sentence from active into passive. Okay? So you can do all that to paraphrase the sentences. Now, let's take a look at the question. The question says, what can you do to your mobile phone when you are finished with it? So when you're done with your mobile phone, what can you do with it? This passage has 4 answers. Let's try to extract them. Number 1, let's read it, okay? What do people do to their old phones when they buy a new one? Some people pass on their old phones to be used by their siblings. This is 1. Others take them to shops that often ask for older phone models in exchange for a new one. This is another. However, if the phone cannot be returned due to it being damaged, people simply throw the phone away and it ends up in landfill sites. This is the 3rd one. Some companies recycle the unwanted phones and use the individual mobile phone parts for their machinery or for other machinery. So some companies, they ask you for your phone in exchange for another phone. What do? Some companies also, they take the phones and they take some parts out of the phones. They use it for other machines, okay? So this is another use. This is, of course, better for the environment. Some people hold their mobile phones dear to their heart, and so they send them to specialist companies and ask them to repair and restore the phone to working condition. So here you have 5 answers. You are only required 4, because if you read the question, it will say in 4 sentences only. So 4 sentences. If you write 3, marks will be deducted. If you write 5, marks will also be deducted. Okay? So again, the question says, what can you do to your mobile phone when you are done with it? Now let's paraphrase the sentences that we've taken. Some people pass on their mobile phones to be used by their siblings. So we can change it into, first, you can give it to your younger sibling. So the word pass on is changed into give it. Okay? Number 2, take them to shops that often ask for older phone models in exchange for newer ones. You can change that into, second, you can sometimes exchange them for newer phones. Number 3, people simply throw the phone away and it ends up in landfill sites. You can say, third, sometimes people throw it away. Okay? As simple as that. Number 4, some companies recycle the unwanted phones and use the individual mobile phone parts for other machinery. You can paraphrase that into, finally, to keep the environment clean, you can have your phone recycled. Okay? When you put these sentences all together into one paragraph, it will turn out as the passage in front of you. First, you can give it to your younger sibling. Second, you can exchange it for a new phone. Third, sometimes all you can do is throw it away. Finally, to keep the environment clean, you can have your phone recycled. So this is how you tackle the summary part of the test. So in conclusion, in this episode, we have looked about some vocabulary items. We talked about some vocabulary items. We've looked at the reading comprehension and for the summary making question. I hope that you have benefited from this episode. As always, repeat this episode more than once in order to understand the ideas of the episode, and I will see you again in the next episode.